Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's edition of the 5D Deep Dive. Tonight, we're going to deep dive into a subject that is truly fascinating, judging by the last time we've asked questions. Last week, I believe, in the 5D News show, we asked questions about the Pope and the future of the church. And the answers were quite, let's say, interesting. Do you remember, Sophie, what we've talked about?
Not at all.
It makes it even more amazing. We're starting from carte blanche. So we are going to deep dive into the Saint Malachy prophecy. Is it the Pope's last days, and then the successor of the Pope? Is it a female Pope? Maybe. What are we going to see as far as changes with the future of the church? And also we had cards about divine union, and like the theory that we had, you and I, Sophie, was that maybe they're going to reintegrate more of the feminine into the church. So we're going to ask all of the questions about that. And we have also questions from the community that are truly interesting. So can't wait to start deep diving into that with you guys. And of course, if you do enjoy this type of show, do make sure you hit the like button, and also you can hit the notification bell. It really helps us into creating some more content for you guys. And don't forget, we are putting out a brand new 5D deep dive episode every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. So, okay, let's begin with the first question. And of course, I forgot to add my slide deck. So here we are. It's not yet Mercury retrograde, but I do feel the energy coming into. Okay, so I believe beginning of last week, it was being said that it was like the last hours, 72 hours of the Pope or something like that. But he is still alive, as far as we know. And it says here he had 2 episodes of acute respiratory failure, but is alert and resting, says the Vatican. So the first question, first of all, is he still alive? Is it true? Let's just start with that, and then we'll ask if they are keeping him artificially alive, because last week we got that they were trying to kind of maintain him in certain state in order to bring him off planet. So let's first start by, is he still alive? Is that true?
We have the card of suspicion to start, so that's
suspicious, to say the least.
A return, Wizard of Oz, Titanic. So let's say he is on his last hours, and they're trying to make it seem like he is not, so they can delay the announce when it's actually done. Right now, he's in a process of dying, and but we're not going to know at the same exact moment. They're going to delay it.
They're going to delay the announcement.
They're going to delay the announcement. Yes.
Are they keeping him artificially alive? Is he fully conscious?
Well, I'm going to go with that question for sure, but just judging by that second card that we had, the card of return, there is a lot of different healing modalities that are being used. They're doing everything that they can.
It almost seems like they're using like quantum physics or magic even.
Yeah. Well, he had transfusion, so that for me was like, yeah, we know what that means, right?
Yeah.
Let's see, is he artificially kept alive? It says farewell and healing. Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so he's not probably fully there consciously.
No.
Okay. Okay, next one. I found this little image here on Twitter, which I thought was kind of interesting. So the question that goes with this image, we had one comment from Wanda, and she says, "I'm sorry we're missing the big picture here. The Pope that you're talking about is gone already. They're real, not an actor. This Pope is an actor. So I just want to preface this question by saying that we are well aware that is, let's say, this is the most, let's say, major narrative in the let's say, alternative media community. I'm well aware of it. Sophie is also. But coming here when we're doing the show, we're trying to go from a fresh perspective, not, let's say, going at it with, let's say, I guess what I'm trying to say here is we're not trying to take all the theories that we've heard and make it 100% real, because if we do that, that doesn't allow us to search for the truth. So we're trying to go at it from a, let's say, a more blank canvas type of perspective so that we can really ask the questions. And it goes for the mainstream media, but it also goes for the alternative media. So everything that we've heard, we need, as far as our discernment process, to also put that into question. So this is my preface. Sophie? Okay,
yeah,
good.
You said that perfectly. Like Julie said, we're trying to always question, and I think that is what is making us truthers in this community. Other readers may see other things. We're not saying they're wrong. Absolutely not. We're coming from a place of, let's see what conclusion we get from different sources, and you go with what is resonating with you. So yes, we read the comments, and yes, we know that others are sometimes seeing other stuff, and that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, and it's a possibility. Maybe you're right, Wanda, but maybe you're not. So we have to, let's say, put everything into question, even the things we think we know. So this is the point we wanted to make before. But thank you for your comment. And we're going to ask the question straight up to the cards. Is the current Pope Francis an actor replacing the already gone real Pope Francis?
Okay, so far we have a night and day. We have the fresh start. We have the invisible woman, and we have touch of evil. So far what I'm getting, it's not a clear yes or no, but I do see the already, yes, Mercury retrograde is already there. I do see already the influence of the next Pope showing in.
But yeah, definitely, I think it's a possibility that major politicians, major, let's say, famous, important figures are replaced either regularly or once in their lifetime. So it is a true possibility, and I don't deny that. But let's see with the Pope, if the one that is currently passing was already a replacement of another one.
So you see, I would say that in my head is not an actor, but I would say maybe walking at some point was in that body with this night and day. We do have the fresh start with 2 of Wands. So I think that at some point his soul got replaced.
Yeah, this is exactly what I was seeing when you were showing the cards.
Yeah. So at some point, I think his soul was replaced because it didn't serve the right purpose for the church. And I'm getting chills as I'm saying this. And we do have, I'm going to skip a few, but we do have the touch of evil with the 3 of Swords. So he was not evil enough. Interesting. And this is the healing card. Doesn't look like this, but this is a 4 of Swords, which is typically like healing. And we have the invisible woman. So we already sense the influence of the next Pope coming in. So what I'm sensing with those also, it's that his intent was not evil enough. So he got replaced. And I think that he was also going through maybe memory loss treatment, not because he was suffering from something that he naturally loses memory, but to force him to lose his memory, to force him to, like, in a sense, like shock treatment, if you want. But it's for
the
memory.
first one or this one?
This one. Well, they're combined because it's, yeah.
Yeah, so if I understand this correctly, it's the same physical vessel,
Yes.
but the soul kind of changed with another one that he replaced him with.
I think he went through a lot of treatment to kind of trying to see if they could do something more with him. And the
You
soul
could
got,
alter his consciousness before replacing him with the walk-in.
yep.
Okay, and can we ask the cards, like, when was this done? Like the walk-in, was it a long time ago? Was it recent?
Good question.
Let's see.
The muse, I will awaken the best part of you. This is the first time that I'm seeing this, and it sounds evil this time. Okay. The fox, clever, cunning, suspicion. Angel, guardian, spirit guides, messenger, devil in disguise. Yeah. And we have the walk-in right there. Let's see the second row for the timing. Yeah. So it's like treatments to awaken his bad side as much as possible. We have the King of Wands, the Ace of Cup, Six of Cup, High Priestess, and the Page of Sword. I would say it was done, there was treatment done slowly as soon as he was Pope, or I think as soon as he got into a position where he was in Vatican. I think it's in the food. I think that's there's something that is placed in drink and food of the Vatican where everybody inside is eating it and being intoxicating by it. Ace of Cup. What is Cup in terms of timing for you?
Good one. In this context, I'm not sure. Usually it's like medium, so maybe half is, would you say half of his, let's say not election, of his time as being Pope was half and half? Didn't you have like the Six of Cups or cards
Six of
also?
Cups next to it, yes.
So like half the time with the previous soul and half the time with the walk-in. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I put you on the spot. I'm sorry. Yes, it's what I would say. Let me know if that makes sense with what you were also sensing. What I would say is that half would correspond more of half of his time in Vatican. I think they tried to make him be that person, and quickly, I would say after being Pope, there was a switch.
Okay.
Yeah. So quickly, either before, just before, or right after, but very close to it, because we have, oh, I'm trying to do good, and then like, yeah, you're really trying to do good, but we don't want that.
Okay, stay tuned. We have fascinating questions around that theme. So next one, which is a really good one. I don't know if you guys remember the last 5D news show that we've put together. Go watch it if you haven't, because it's connected to this one. And I showed up a lady on Twitter who was talking about how Kenya is the seat of a lot of major world religions and a lot of, let's say, world politics in the nefarious sense. And she was saying that a lot of those world organization religions were using Kenya as to, let's say, cipher the energy of that portal, because it is a portal. And Sophie, you got with the cards that it was correct, that Kenya was indeed like a very strong portal. They were using it to get all the, let's say, nefarious energies to anchor their power for the world religions, including the church, this church. And so Terry McLean got a really good question. So they say, were they trying to use a portal in Kenya to transport the Pope? Because if you remember, you were also saying that, oh, they're trying really hard in order to bring the Pope off world. And it's like a matter of time. It's very time sensitive. And we were talking about how Kenya was being used as, let's say, a sort of temple to get the hold of their power. So were they trying to use the portal in Kenya to transport the Pope?
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes. Absolutely. Singing in the rain. Absolutely. Yes. I don't think they were able to, though. The card about the Pope were not indicating that he was going to be able to go off-world.
Yeah. You mean this week or last week?
Now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
We
it's
didn't ask
it's a
directly.
failed operation.
Yeah. So yes, there's a lot of apparently books and research done on this portal in Kenya, and they were able to try different things. But Nine of Wands, it's being kept close. The world, no, it's like it's not. They're not able to use this right now. They're not able to bring him to the off-world at all. Do you see this? Justice, death, and it's like the judgment it's been decided that he was not going to be able to go off-world.
And also, like, you also got last week regarding that portal that it was going to be closed, or they were not going to be able to use it if we continued on the path of awakening, all of us.
Yeah.
Okay, next question from Irma. Thank you, in the community. What is the purpose of the Pope funeral repetition? So as soon as he started to not being really well, they have started to do some rehearsals with the funeral, and this image is part of it. So with the Swiss Guard, I believe. So a lot of people are being involved in that big show. So what's the purpose? Is it what they say it is, or is there something else with those rehearsals?
Can you imagine you're not feeling good and they're rehearsing your funeral?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess it's the curse of being famous, but it's yeah, it's bad.
It's a ritual. Okay, there's a lot of cards, but this is a ritual to be able to remove all of the bad stuff that he has been doing, so he could be going to heaven if you want. So I think that this is simply to kind of part of their contract, and I'm getting chills, part of their contract that doing as much bad stuff as they can here in their role when they go to the other side, if they believe in God, because some don't. I hope I'm not like revealing a secret to anyone here. But if they do believe in this, at least they believe in the soul, right? It's like you don't want to have any bad karma, so you don't want to be having a lot of negative consequences to what you have done. So this is a ritual of intention of breaking those chains and to remove the bad karma, so they can go on the other side with better energy if you want to.
Okay, very interesting. I wasn't expecting that. And what part of the funeral is more ritualistic or helping them into cleansing their aura?
It says that it's the passing of to the other world. There's something in that repetition of saying like they're dead, we're preparing it's like they're removing blockages. Yeah, it's the door. Do you see? It's the door. This is the high priestess. She's guarding the entrance of the temple. So it's basically saying to repeat that they're gone. It's like they're removing any blockages in that first initial phase of going to the other
So
side.
there's less resistance for the body and the energy.
Yeah.
Okay. And talking about like we're not sure what they believe in, those people,
No.
including the Pope.
Yeah.
I found this video and I want to ask the cards because like we see a lot of those things also on different social media. And like I want to ask the cards if it's true that Pope Francis urges Christian to pray for Lucifer for real enlightenment. Does he believe, well, first of all, does he believe in Satan, Lucifer, as the real true God?
Okay. Oh, I would say yes. There is 3 cards that I don't see yet, so let's see what they are. Yeah, I would say yes, absolutely. They're saying that it's the same because it's a round, So they're saying it's the same. Yeah, it's the same. They're using the church, but in fact, people, and it's going to trigger. I'm sorry, but this is the card, not me. It's saying that the religion is mainly praying Lucifer because they want to have this energy going to the bad place.
Yeah, it's an energy
Portal.
not portal, but extraction system. Okay, and is it true that he urges Christians to pray the same God? Like, did he say something along those lines publicly, either a tweet or whatever? Like, I would think it would not be that in your face, but let's see.
Exactly. So we have the karmic and we have admiration. So I think he said something down the line, but it's not exactly the words as blunt. So let's see maybe the intention behind this.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so basically, I think at this point, it's very clear to everybody that church is about saving themselves and having a lot of money. So I think that basically those values were what it was trying to communicate is help yourself first.
Which is very interesting because I've heard a lot of debates around service to self versus service to others. And it says like let's say the nefarious ET races are more about service to self and like the most evolved are more about service to others. But let's say, I think it's kind of two sides of the same coin if you do it well. Let's say if you serve yourself in alignment with your divinity, your heart, it serves other people as well. So it's interesting, but I guess they do it in a very unaligned way for themselves and humanity, which is probably is the difference.
Yeah, but I think you're trying to let me know if this is not what you are trying to say, but if you're not taking care of yourself in such a bad way that others has to take their energy to take care of you, this is going really badly, okay?
Yeah.
If you use your energy to help others, but you are not pulling your own weight and others has to do it, it's not good.
Exactly.
But if you're taking care of yourself so others don't have to do it, that's neutral, that's good, that's very, very good. But if you are already doing it and on top of it you're giving some of your energy to causes that you want to, that's the best, right?
Yeah. But I'm thinking about like, let's say you put all of your energy into doing your internal work in order for you to be able to shine your light when you go out into the outer world. So just by you being aligned with your light is helping other people, whether you're doing stuff to help them or not. So this is why I think like they can, and I totally resonate with what you said too, but I think both can kind of come together at some point if they're done well, I guess.
Yeah, the problem with it is for church is that they're using this we should all help each other to gain all of the money, energy, and to keep it in the church. If you see that there is other stuff locally that is doing good, perfect, amazing. But I think that for a lot of time they were using it for power and to enrich themselves. It's just another front that they were using.
You're totally right. And this is the paradox with the age of Pisces, because all the biggest religions in the world were kind of born around the beginning of the age of Pisces, which we're transitioning out of in this moment. And Pisces, it's like, how to say that? It's such a beautiful energy, but that can also be used, hijacked in order to serve, let's say, the agenda of nefarious people, which is Pisces is like this unconditional love, unconditional generosity to other. And as you're saying, they hijack this, like the goodwill of humanity to serve other people and to, let's say, sacrifice yourself for a cause. But because you're doing that, but while not, let's say, taking care of your own vessel or your own self, this is where the hijack, I think, went wrong. And we paid the price for that. And hopefully with the age of Aquarius, we're going to rebalance everything. Okay, our next subject, which is going to be female Pope. At first I was like, let's say question mark or not. So I removed the question mark. Let's just see where we're going to go with this. So first of all, I thought that bringing up the tarot was going to be probably needed here. Okay, well, I'm just trying to, so that we can see here. Okay. All right. So I thought that was very interesting. First of all, we have on the left, the Tarot de Marseille, which is older than the other one on the right, which is the Rider-Waite Tarot, which was a lot later in history. So the first one, this card, the number 5, was named Le Pape, or I guess it translates as the Pope. But when the Rider-Waite came in, they translated, or they changed that name to the Hierophant, which kind of signifies that it's the character is at the head of the hierarchy, the spiritual hierarchy, which is kind of the same concept, different name. But when we arrive here, this is, in my opinion, the big difference, because the number 2 card of the major arcana, the lady here was named the Papess, which would translate as the Popess, so the female Pope. And when the Rider-Waite came in, they kind of tweaked that into the High Priestess, and also the hat is different. This is the Pope's hat here, so she's here. She's really being depicted as a female pope, as the head of the church. And here she's a high priestess. So, and apparently that's the hat of Hathor, which is one of the goddesses of fertility and creation. So very big difference here. And apparently this is also, that was created to depict the myth or reality, and we're going to ask the cards, we don't know yet, of Pope Joan, which apparently was the only popess. I don't know if it's a word that we can use, but let's just use it, in the Catholic Church history. So the only woman, and apparently she disguised herself as a man so nobody knew. And at some point she delivered a baby during a ceremony or something. So everybody kind of was like, it's a woman. Do you have anything that I'm missing here to the story, Sophie?
That's now why they're doing some kind of a touch test whenever there is a new pope to check if this is a male.
Maybe now they're going to have problem because they're going to be like, well, I identify as
a couple. Yeah.
So, well, first of all, so many interesting things to say. So I think like in the Rider-Waite version, they try and kind of like to stay away from that female pope of, let's say, the reality of or history that a woman could be at the head of a church, at the head of a spiritual movement. So this is very interesting. What do you think, Sophie?
The difference, I think, was important. I think it doesn't have a lot of power, I would say, for me, in the first in the first card, just because we know that she's hiding also with the veil behind her and everything. For me, the high priestess has more of a, I'm in my power and I'm not the female version of the Pope, but that's just me.
But also, like, I think also if we take the other card, I'm wondering if also it puts the women a little bit below the men as far as like hierarchy, because here they renamed it Hierophant, so being at the head of, and the high priestess, yes, she's in her power, but maybe she's working for the Hierophant. It's not like they're side by side, like being the female and male version of the same character or the same archetype. They're kind of two different archetypes in the Rider-Waite.
Right.
So, okay. First question. When they did the Rider-Waite Tarot, did they translate differently on purpose? The High Priestess, they translate, trying to make sense of my question here, sorry guys. Did they transition from La Papesse to the High Priestess consciously as a sign of a lesser hierarchy for the women, as let's say, compared to the Hierophant?
It says it's another symbol completely.
Okay.
We have E.T., we have the monk, we have abandon and gaslight. So basically the cards are, you're right, you're absolutely right, Julie, because the cards are basically saying that because people would not take that seriously, a female pope, they had to transition her in a role of power for a female. So we do have, they choose something else, and we have the monk right there. They choose something else to represent this power, so we would be taking seriously because she is a very powerful archetype. And for me, before I learned tarot, whenever I looked at the High Priestess card, the first version, it was always like more of a nun, like stuck in a cloister nun, more of a like, you're in the building and nobody sees you and you're just reading books and praying all day.
Yeah, because maybe you associated her with the church, and we know that women don't have much power in the church, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I think that was the intent, to get her out of it. It says that it was a big debate, and it's because he has something similar to those three phases moon that the High Priestess has on her head. Four of Cups and the Queen of Wands. Yes, to give her more power, they had to switch to High Priestess.
And to exit her from the church, to give her more, let's say, what's the word? Not alternative power, but pagan, to return to the pagan powers of the High Priestess.
Yes, we have the Six of Wands reversed, so I don't think she was recognized as having a lot of power even in tarot. But it was already better than the first version, apparently.
Very interesting. I hope you guys are as interested as we are, because we are diving into, and I really believe that the tarot cards are a map of very sacred knowledge. So when we study tarot, the major arcana of the tarot, like, we can uncover lots and lots of really amazing hidden knowledge from our history. Okay, so this is the Wikipedia Pope Joan page, which I thought was super interesting. And here she's depicted, really has, I don't know if I have it here, with the same hat as the Papesque, which is really the Pope hat. And yeah, so interesting. Okay, so Pope Joan is a legend. So legend, let's say, if it's a legend, let's see, about a woman who purportedly, sorry about that word, reigned as Pope for 2 years during the Middle Ages. Her story first appeared in chronicles of the 13th century. Blah, blah, blah. So it says here that more than one people have reported about Pope Joan. So maybe it's a myth, maybe not, and we'll see. Yes, and she disguised herself as a man, and there are more than one depiction of Pope Joan, which is super interesting. And I believe too there is a bust of Pope Joan in Italy, which was kind of removed at some point because people were finding that offensive. So let's ask first of all: is Pope Joan a true story?
It says yes.
Okay.
It says that people wanted to erase it from history, but it says yes. It has big roots. Yes.
Okay, which makes sense. Was the, and I'm guessing so, but what was the Papes card in the Tarot de Marseille inspired by Pope Joan? And if so, what is the power behind that card?
I would say at some point, yes. But it had to be tweaked to not, yeah, we have the justice. So I think it had to be tweaked for not offending people and stuff like that. And to return the female archetype to something that would be more feminine according to society. We have the card of recharging, which is very interesting because it's the triangle of a symbol of the masculine that we have there. So it says that we needed to have this archetype in the tarot to help and to support the masculine archetypes. But that this is not acceptable for society, so it had to be released.
Yeah, and it's so interesting because if you've read books by Melchizedek, Donvalo Melchizedek, he talks about how the Kundalini of the world changed place and has switched from a masculine polarity to a feminine polarity recently, and is now in the Andes mountain of Peru and Cordillère des Andes, so South America, and that the spiritual leadership has now shifted to women. And when it was men before, when it was in Tibet with the Dalai Lama and all that stuff. So, and yes, you can argue that he is dark, but that's not the point here. It's just to show that a lot of famous, let's say, characters around spiritual leadership were male, and apparently it shifted. So let's just ask the cards, will we see this shift publicly as far as more female spiritual leaders across the globe as a result of this Kundalini shift?
Oh, yes. It says the return. We have the union. It says that it's not going to be only female, and that's never the goal also, but it says the union of both. And it says that it says it's needed. In fact, the cards are saying that if this is not happening, we're in deep trouble for this society.
Yeah, because we need to rebalance what has been done in the past. All right, let's now ask the cards. And okay, I just want to mention briefly a comment we had from Dell 8450. I got goosebumps all over when you spoke of the end of the Pope and incoming potential of the divine feminine, which was what we got from the cards in the last 5D news. She says we need it badly. And here I found this Wikipedia page on the High Priestess, and it talks about that, let's say, depiction of, is it the Popess? Here they use the word the Popess, the High Priestess. And here they talk about another kind of La Papessa, which is the Italian version. So that was like a woman that was promoted to be head of her church, and in Milan, in Italy. So I thought that was very interesting. And here they say that, okay, I just want to make sure I read the correct paragraph. And it says that she would return at the feast of the Pentecost in the year 1300, and that the male-dominated papacy would then pass away, yielding to a line of female popes. So go read about that if you're interested, but that was so interesting. So maybe Pope Joan is not the only female spiritual leader of her church. Yeah. Okay, so let's ask the cards. Will the next pope be a woman?
Just want to say before I forget, because I forgot already when I was reading the card for the previous questions about those two cards, it said that Pope Joan played a different role in the church. She had the same title, but she played a different role. She did things way differently.
I'm guessing. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, of course, yes.
Okay.
Okay, let's ask. I'm not sure, but let's ask. Will the next pope be a woman? Because we had all those cards about divine union last time and the feminine energy returning. But maybe it's too soon, so let's just ask.
It's too soon, but it says it will be everything as a woman except the body. So it's a soul that is mainly feminine. It is someone, it could be even in disguise, a woman in disguise. It's a man. It will appear to be a man, but it is going to be woman everywhere else. So
okay. Interesting. Yeah, I love the cards, how they are clear with our questions today. Amazing. So just before we continue talking about the Saint Malachy prophecy, the judgment day and everything, I just wanted to remind you guys that if you are interested into getting your own personalized, pre-recorded guided meditation with the beautiful Elena, you can do it now. We have a promotion now until this Friday only, so still a few days left to get 10% off with the discount code HEALING. And so yes, that will be until March 7th, so still a few days left. And Elena is producing those personalized guided meditation to help you unblock or unblock anything, any kind of situation. If you'd like to work on a particular aspect of your self-healing, this is the perfect season to do that. We have the retrogrades coming up. We have Venus retrograde right now. We have the Mercury retrograde coming up. Eclipse season, 2 eclipses during the month of March. We have the new year, the new astrological year on March 20th. And while we're in Pisces season, it is the time to really rewire our brain, our energetic field, our beliefs, and let go of the past behind. So it's a magical time to let go any kind of weight and work on anything you'd like to work on to allow you to get all the abundance you deserve. So it is a guided meditation which you can do for 21 days every day. And that is the time usually required for us to reprogram our beliefs. So if you're interested, I'll put the link down below here. And don't forget to use HEALING as your discount code with the beautiful Elena. All right. So next,
I do have something else that the card was, oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, you wanted to talk about the cards? Okay, go ahead.
We do have this card that is there. So it was there previously, and then I did my perfect Pisces rising, forgetting about this, but this card talks about how, and I'm not really good with the Bible, Julie, so if you can help me. It talks about how Mary Magdalene is the same soul as Eve. And how she is the soul that is going to try to come back either through the Pope or is going to be the main focus of that new era. So we had a card of the Temperance and we had a card of the blockage. So if the return of the Temperance, which is Eve and Mary Magdalene, are not restored in church, we have a lot of problem with Catholic Church in the future.
That is so interesting, and maybe we'll go there because I had questions about that exactly. So okay, let's go there. But right before, can you explain what you're offering here, Sophie, for our beautiful community?
Yes. So you have the 1 hour with me tarot reading, which we're going to go with your questions or see what is coming for you in every area that you have questions about, and helping you also to get the best version of it. So if we see something that is coming that you don't like, this is a time to really ask, what should we do to have the best version of the future? So it's not just telling you what is coming, but it's also being active in what is coming to get the best out of your future, making the best decisions. And the 1 hour past life reading is all about understanding the root of something. You can go back for releasing fear. You can go back to understand contract with people. You can go back to also know where you were the most brave, the most gifted, why you feel an attraction to this country or that kind of person or anything, that job also, and really getting to the root of something and understanding.
Awesome. And so if you feel like that could help you, you resonate with one of the two products, you can click down below on the link I'll make sure it is in the description box. And don't forget to use Jupiter as your discount code to get 10% off when you do. Thank you, Sophie. And yes, so I had a question around that, which is super interesting because some people have commented regarding the last show that we did. The next Pope sounds like Jesus coming back and or Mary Magdalene from Amber 5114. And also Lisa Dyer was saying, I'm watching on delay, and my first thought when Sophie chose cards regarding the next Pope, all those positive cards spoke to me of pure love, divine love. So maybe the entity called Jesus returns, but then you went on and chose some feminine energy cards. So I wondered about Mary Magdalene. So, okay, so I was going to ask, will the energy of Mary Magdalene become more present on the earth with the new off-worlder Pope?
Absolutely. Let's see.
So will we be able to tap into more of the energy of Mary Magdalene with this new Pope?
So the person that is going to be, the person that is going to be the next Pope is going to have to face a lot of problems because of it. Okay, so we have a lot of cards, but we have the public enemy, we have abandon, and we have Jekyll. So amongst many other things, it's going to be a real challenge to speak the truth, and it's going to be a big challenge on ethics. And this is a card of trouble. So we do see that it's going to be a lot of free will involved in how far this new Pope is going to go. But let's see a little bit. Yeah, so we have the tied up card, and then we have bringing justice, bringing balance, and we still have the shadow of a doubt. So far, it's pretty much about, it's going to take a lot of courage. We see the card of pride and ego, which is, I need to speak up about something. And this soul has chosen to do so, soulmate and compromise. So I want to say that, yes, we're going to tap into Mary Magdalene energy big time. But it's still up to free will at this point. And this person is going to face a lot of people trying to remove his voice. So, yeah.
Okay.
Helping with this, if you want to, could be very beneficial. So anybody that wants to send energies, that want to help with the vibration, freedom of the throat chakra for the next one, and for the Vatican and for church, that would be amazing.
Liberation of the past, let's say, evil in the church. Okay, so interesting, this topic, and I dove into it before, so I'm ready for the questions. So this is the Prophecy of the Popes by Saint Malachy, which we kind of referred on our last show, the last 5D show. So here, and it lists on this page, and I'm just going to scroll down so you can see. Let's hope I'm not giving you a headache. Okay, let me zoom out a little bit. It's not working here. Okay, So apparently he had Saint Malachy, that is, let's say all the names of the popes listed in some kind of, let's say, little description in Latin. And here on Wikipedia, they name all the popes. I'm just going to go at the bottom of the page. I'm sorry for if I'm giving you a headache here. So let's go at the bottom because this is where we are. Okay, so it says here John Paul II, Benedict, which was the one before Pope Francis. And it says Glory of the Olive because some people theorize that it's about peace. And here we have this kind of period, which is interesting because it says here, in the final persecution of the Holy Roman Church, there will sit. So, and then, and also, which is a prediction by Nostradamus, it says here, Peter the Roman, who will pasture his sheep in many tribulation, and when these things are finished, the city of seven hills, aka Rome, but it can be also Vatican, will be destroyed, and the dreadful judge will judge his people. The end. So it really sounds like the judgment day here. So the last one here is kind of this Peter the Roman. And here, some people also say that a lot of popes could come here between Benedict and this last one. So this kind of period is a bit mysterious. So we're not sure usually with Pope Francis, is he here or is he this Peter the Roman? And I don't know if you remember, Sophie, but last time you got a Roman card for Pope Francis and you said, is he Italian? And I said, no. And then I went to research and yes, he's from Argentina, but he's from Italian descent. So you were on point with that Italian blood. And here is talking about Peter the Roman. So I guess the question we should ask, is Pope Francis in this, let's say, in this section of being in the final persecution of the Holy Roman Church?
After him, there will be judgment day. So I don't know if that answers your question, but it says it will pass from the heart. Interesting, because so far it's the lungs. And then we will have a cycle completion with the popes. And this big fire is purification of it. And in some version of the Saint Malachy, what you said about the destruction of Rome, I heard, I don't know if that was a translation that was bad, but I heard it was going to be a big fire.
Okay. Where do we go from here? So, okay. So you got that after Pope Francis was going to be a cycle completed.
Yep.
I'm kind of okay. So is Pope Francis this Peter the Roman character? Oh. Is Pope Francis Peter the Roman, or is Peter the Roman someone else?
I think it will have to be someone else because he is not playing the role he was supposed to. We have the card that says passive.
Mm-hmm.
5 of Cups underneath passive. 9 of Swords with the miracle. Yeah, he was unable to do it. That may be why we have that period.
But that makes sense also if this is accurate, that there's like a period of popes or a period of time where it's the final persecution of the Holy Roman Church before we have this new era with Peter the Roman. So, okay, is this next off-worlder Pope Peter the Roman?
It says no.
Who's Peter the Roman then?
Peter the Roman.
You want to know?
Okay, so basically it's whoever is capable of doing the work. So they have to prove that they're the one, otherwise another one will be sent to do it.
Okay.
Because it's very, very clear, soulmate and the purge with the fire, that if they're not able to speak up and communicate, they're going to be just exit.
Okay, so next question about Judgment Day, because we have lots of versions of what is Judgment Day. And you had also from the cards that after Pope Francis we would have this Judgment Day, but after it can also mean that we can have another pope before. So let's just start by asking, what is the true meaning of Judgment Day?
Right. Are we not meant to know? That is a box that has been on a very safe place for about a month now. That has been just pushed out on the floor.
Okay.
By nothing.
Okay, so I guess this is important.
What is Judgment Day? It says it says it's when everything that is evil will be revealed, and you're going to remember that we are all one, and that all of the evil thing that has been happening, it's because of those evil beings. In a sense, it's very much I exemplify what I'm seeing, but that's pretty much what I'm seeing. It's breaking free from a lot of chains and addictions and fears, breaking free from illusions where everything will be revealed.
That makes a lot of sense, Sophie. Okay, and my brain is going in like 100 different directions at the same time. It's like I have so many questions at the same time. And back to the tarot. So we have this Judgment Day, or just rather Judgment card from the tarot. And in the tarot, it depicts it like as a major rebirth, because you see the dead people are coming out of their coffins and they're like, yay, and there's some sort of announcement. So I guess it makes sense also with what you're saying, because you're saying that it will be revealed, and it talks about revelation at the Judgment Day in the tarot. It talks about rebirth. It talks about awakening. So is this card and is Judgment Day depicting the return of the Christ consciousness on earth after the reveal of the bad stuff?
Yes.
And I was gonna ask if and I said the return of the Christ consciousness.
Yes. Wow.
Okay.
So yes. In the same time, it's interesting because those two pictures depict a woman wearing the crown.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's a lot of reveal that are going to happen about the role of the feminine energy in it, and that could shift our perception about Christ consciousness.
Are we going to have revelations around Eve and Mary Magdalene?
Yes.
The cards are so clear. Oh, wow. Okay. So I guess it's a big yes, right?
It is. So I think that we are thinking about Judgment Day as the end of the world in a sense.
Yeah, but it's not.
So the Pope that is going to be there during Judgment Day, if this person is bringing back the truth, that can be Peter the Roman. That can be that next Pope we're going to see.
So I found this image, and regarding that, so we got a comment from Smoopy, and they say it's Judgment Day for them, not us. Mm-hmm. That's why they want to keep the Pope alive. They know what's coming. Very good comment. So here, the question for the cards. What could happen to the Pope if he remains, either his body or his soul, on earth for Judgment Day?
Nothing, because it would need to be completely out so we can have Judgment Day. But let's say in, I don't know if we can tweak that, but let's say it would be off, we would have Judgment Day, and then it would be brought back to earth in some ways for having its judgment, because I think that's the main goal of the question, is to know his judgment.
But last week, you were kind of saying that they wanted to bring him off world, the current Pope, in order for him to avoid Judgment Day. So the question here is, but let's say if that fails, he's not off world, what's the danger of him staying here? Either his body or his soul. But because you said also like that was a failed operation to bring him.
Yeah. So I don't remember what I said last week, but I think that what is important is that he is one way out of this earth, one way or another, either passing or physically taking out. So yeah, I get what you're saying. Okay, ask me the question for the card. That's not going the logical.
Okay. So let's ask what could happen to a nefarious entity, such as the Pope, the current Pope, if they are on earth while Judgment Day is happening.
Okay. And I don't have my brain now, so. Well, that's for sure. It will be completely. So they would not back him up. It would be revealed what his role was. We have the answer is yes. So that thing that's for me, because if he stays alive, we delayed stuff. He needs to go so we can have the next things happening. Okay. So I think the answer is yes on, yeah, you were right. It needs to get off. So to not be alive, right? If he's off-world and they're able to heal him, they're able to keep him some way in a space that gravity and other things that are here are not putting pressure on his human body, then we're delaying that phase. So that's the answer is yes. So if he is here, it would be a human depleted of any power, and I don't see a lot happening with this, honestly.
You know what I saw with the cards is that what they don't want is to reveal their true, let's say their true agenda, their true overlords with the mask and the yes. So I guess it's like, yeah, because it's going to, the veil of illusion for the masses is going to dissolve. And also it's going to show like who's behind all of those dark corporations and who are the controllers of the Matrix.
And at the same time, I don't see a lot of consequences for him.
Yeah, it's more for the overlords, I guess, because they want to stay behind the scenes.
Yeah. It's very, very weird, all of those things, but we are in a year of the snake, and I think it's time to shed the church.
Yeah, so true. And the snake is Kundalini, it's lies, it's also power. So that's a big seat of power, and the serpent is also very, very spiritual.
Yeah. So for anybody triggered by this, just letting you know, we're not saying the end of religion, we're saying the end of church, the thing that was created by men.
Yeah, and of course, like if you label yourself as someone who's religious, for sure, I'm guessing you want the best. That the head of the church has the best intentions for all of us. And I feel like in that sense, spirituality and religion want the same thing. Like they just want a pure connection to God and to do good on this earth. So this is what we want also for our institutions and our spiritual leaders. And so far, I love what we saw. I feel like we are definitely going in the right direction. So this is very, very cool. And last time I didn't expect at all to see like the beautiful positive guards for the next, let's say, virage, the next direction of the church. So this is going to be very, very exciting. Lastly, I wanted to share with you guys our schedule for this week. So you can also see us more than once. On Wednesday, I will put out a show on the March eclipse season. So we have 2 eclipses coming up. This is going to be big, big, big stuff. Fated changes. Thursday at noon, we have the Pick a Card by Sophie. And then at night, we are going to have the 5D News show, the brand new one. So stay tuned. And at 8 p.m. Eastern on Friday, we have the live galactic show with the beautiful Solreta. And on Sunday at noon, we have the new chakra yoga, 20-minute easy yoga to do with Elena. So join us for all these shows, and do make sure you like this show if you did enjoy the content. And also, if you'd like to support us, make sure you are subscribed to our channel. We have our YouTube channel and also our Rumble one. So thank you so much. Thank you, Sophie, for reading the cards. And we'll see you on Thursday. So bye, everybody, and thank you.